So here it is, the 7th and final DLC for 2 Point Hospital. This is it. Once this is done, it's completely all over. So what do we actually have in this new DLC, which is called Speedy Recovery? Well, this Speedy Recovery features 3 new locations. We have Aileen, we have Betshore, and we have Pointy Pass. In this DLC, we've actually got 3 new illnesses which we can watch and see. And it also includes a load more illnesses as well. And not only that, we got vehicles. Let me show you when we go into Aileen, the first of our hospitals in this DLC. So here we are in Aileen. As you can see, we've got quite a big map. We've got a load of vehicles. And we have ourselves a new visual illness, which is cloud computing. And that is the old storm drain. And that can be upgraded. And not only can it just be upgraded, we can also add ourselves another storm drain if we want to. So you can actually have more doctors in there working on the same illness, which I do believe is quite a bonus. Now, to get your patients, you're going to need some vehicles, and these vehicles you can send off. So once you get your illnesses, like here, this is the map that we're working on. So right here, it tells you that you have a certain amount of people that need to be picked up. Obviously, these have all died. That's what that one is, or unalived. These one have been successfully treated, and then we've got 3 left. So we don't bother with that. Your hospital sits in the middle of the map. So whenever any pop up, you can respond as quick as you like. And I'll just show you by dispatching one. When you press the dispatch button, you can pick whichever one you like. So you can pick the big healer, the compliant Colin, or the tiny little Phantomobile. Now, if you hover over them, it will tell you how good they are. So this is low speed, very low durability, exceptional capacity, poor diagnosis, and amusing appearance. Now, the thing is, when they do come, your patients will be actually diagnosed if you pick the right vehicle. So just for now, we're going to pick out the big healer. So we shall assign that. And there you go. You've now got a doctor that's got an icon over the top, and he's going to run out and get in it and drive off. Nope, my mistake. It's a nurse. The nurse is going to jump in, but the doctors can be trained up as well. As you can see for yourself, look. So I've got a load of doctors trained up in driving. And I've got a load of nurses trained up in driving. And it tells you there that Janet's banner has nipped off. And it's that easy, which is pretty good. And also it tells you how long they'll take to come back as well. Not only that, you can see for yourself where they are. There you go, look. And it tells you how many people that they've picked up. So they've picked up 3. So we've now got 3 more patients coming to our hospital. Them up there have 2. So the best thing about it is that you can actually beat these different places to the different relevant destinations. So now they've just come back. So here they come, bam, bam, well, they're back. They come in, park up, nurse jumps out, and so does then the patients, slamming the door on each patient as they get out. And there you are. There's your 3 patients. It's now just turned up. The money's not too bad. I got 3.3 million. As for training, because I only went for 13 years, I've not trained my staff all that well. This is pretty much how well my nurses are. My doctors ain't been too bad. Obviously, I always train up my researchers to highest level I can. The GPs ain't doing too bad. Then we have a psychiatrist, and so on and so forth. The assistants ain't doing too bad, and neither are the janitors. So what do we actually have in this hospital? Well, we start off here with our GPs. And all you have for a start is just this little parking area here. Over here, you have to buy it. This one, you also have to buy. Each of the land, you have to buy. So we have the fracture ward. We have the shock clinic. We have the turtle-headedness. We have Pan's lab. And then we have the good old cloud computing. And also got another Pan's lab as well, because that got pretty busy at one point. Down here, you've got your standard ward, the staff room, the injection room, and we've got quite a few of the old general diagnosis, with more training rooms. Over here, you've got your psychiatry, pharmacy, more training rooms. And again, I seem to manage to do this by getting it to the end of the year. So what rewards have I actually got throughout this time that I've been here? Well, I've got no deaths, and I showed you in the last DLC. Thought I got quite a few no death awards in the last one. We've got Rising Star, Employee of the Year, Best Teaching Hospital, Hospital of the Year, Best Research Hospital, Most Prestigious Hospital, and the Patient's Choice. Moving on. we have more GPs, and another one of these rooms here. We got the trusty old research area, we got the cryptology, and we got 2 pharmacies. Over here, another ward, 2 DNA labs, and 3 surgeries. And that's pretty much what we have in the whole of this hospital. So what do I have to do to get myself through these 3 stars? Well, for star 1, I had to collect 100 emergency patients, cure 8 patients with under the weather, and place down 3 compliant robins. After that, we moved on to star 2. We had to do the research so we could open up the Pantomobile. Once we'd done that, we had to complete the big healer research, which is that, so we could put these 2 down. And then we had to cure another 100 patients that came through the emergency. And then we had to place first in emergency patients collected. So there's another little challenge that you've got as you go against the other hospitals. And once you finish your 2nd star, you're on to 3rd star, which requires you to place first in emergency cure rate. You have to get a cure rate of 7% for emergency patients. You have to build 3 ambulance stations. And then you have to collect 200 emergency patients. So you had to collect from all around here. And then we had to get a reputation of 90%. And once that's all done, we moved on to the next hospital, which was Betshore. And this one is pretty much not on an island, but probably on the coast. And it's battered with hurricanes. And that's why all this is all damaged. And trust me, it does make an effect on your hospital. If you notice, you can see little wisps of wind going through. That's being gentle. You wait till it starts to pick up. So what do I actually have in this hospital then? Well, I've got my little GP area with psychiatry down there. Over here, we've got our 3 DNA labs, the pharmacy, a training room and a toilet. Up here, we have the surgery. We have cryptology, pest control, injection room, and a pharmacist. Then we have the cloud computing, another new illness. This room is Waxworks. We've got shock horror, Pam's lab, the staff room, another classroom, and the resolution lab. And the sun's shining quite brightly on that glass. And it just, wow. And then we have the 2 wards, the fracture ward and the standard ward. And back here is pretty much just for the doctors, where we have the research area, a load of classrooms, and the marketing room. And then again, we had our vehicles, which included some new ones. We had the feather balloon, and we had the helicopter, and not forgetting the airvulator. So there were your 3 new vehicles in this DLC, in this hospital. So to get myself through the 3 stars, what do I have to do? Well, for star 1, I had to train 3 staff in flying. There you go. It doesn't matter if they're a nurse or a doctor. You had to train them in flying. Rather than driving, we had flying. So they could fly these out. Then we had to place 3 helicopters. So then you had to cure 3 of these patients right here with Hive Mind. And then the first illness from the first one, which I couldn't manage to show you because none of them came in, was this one right here. For star 2, we had to upgrade Waxworks research project, so we could upgrade this to level 2. Then we had to place 2nd in emergency reputation for 3 months. Then we had to upgrade 10 machines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And as early on as star 2, we had to get a reputation up to 95%. And for the last and final star, we had to upgrade the Waxworks so we could upgrade it to level 3. This hospital had to be valued at 3 million. We had to place first in emergency reputation for 3 months. And we had to place first in emergency patients collected for 3 months. And once we've done all that, we managed to get on to the final hospital of 2 Point Hospital. This one that we're going to move on to now, that's it. There was no more. It was the final hospital and possibly one of the hardest ones as well. We came here to Pointy Pass and this was hard, really was hard, because you start off with literally nothing and the only way your patients are going to get here is by being transported. They don't walk in. There is nowhere that they'll just come and walk in. They'll walk off home, but they won't walk in. So for you to get patients, you have to send these. And if you ain't got any, you don't get any patients. That was a tough one. This was bad quite a bit. The old ward, as you can see, there's 15 patients in there. Again, we have psychiatry, Pan's lab, the training room, and then we had the 3rd of our illnesses, which is this one here. And this is how these little snowmen are cured. And he was suffering from, if I can actually get him, he was suffering from snow problem. We had the classic old research room, marketing room. Over here, we've got the old, obviously because we're up in the air and skiers and stuff like that, we're getting a lot of injuries. So we had the old fracture ward. Lightheadedness, we had the cloud computing room, injection room, and the turtle-headedness. We did manage to open this up, but we didn't really use it. Don't think there was any more that we could open up. A lot of people are walking away angry. And we had 2 surgeries, the waxwork which are made bigger to add more to, and the good old cryptology. We didn't seem to have any new vehicles in this one. We've pretty much had your feather balloon, your helicopter, the big healer, the compliant column, and the elevator. So why was this so hard? The money went down. As you can see, I've got no money at all. This is how bad it was. So for the first start, I had to build myself the research area. I had hardly any money and I had to try and build this. And then I had to try and train these up to work in the research area, which meant I needed to build a training room. Then I had to build 6 ambulances, or basically place down 6 ambulances. I had to cure 8 patients with snow problem, and trust me, they didn't want to get cured. They really didn't. And my reputation, as you can see, has gone down to very poor. This is how it was. This is what I mean. This was possibly one of the hardest hospitals to do. And we had to collect 100 emergency patients. 100. This is just to finish the first star. That's right, we had to travel all over. We had to drive here, we had to fly there, and we had to beat these hospitals to it. That's what we had to do. And once we'd done all that, we moved on to Star 2, where we had to upgrade 20 machines, place at least 2nd in emergency reputation for 3 months, and cure over 100 emergency patients. Now the 3rd star was the trickiest one, because what we had to do was place 1st in emergency patients collected for 3 months. We had to place 1st in emergency cure rate for 3 months. Place 1st in emergency death rate for 3 months. Place 1st in emergency cure failure rate for 3 months. And place 1st in emergency reputation for 3 months. That's what we had to do for that 3rd star. And once we'd done that 3rd star, it was over. The game was finally over and finished. That was it. No more to do. That was the final hospital that you'll ever do, unless obviously you do the other little challenges, but this is it. So I'd like to say a big thank you for anyone that followed my 2-point hospital series. This is it. This is no more hospital left. This is the final one. So again, thank you, and I hopefully shall see you in other videos. Bye bye.